Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. We're back with the Audi RS6 Avant. This isn't the first time we've seen this car, but it's just too good not to revisit, right? But not everything's perfect, so today we're hitting the highlights, the best and the rest, starting with the rest. But before we do, thanks to our friends at Audi Milwaukee for letting us have a go. They usually have some pretty cool stuff on their lot, so give them a check out in the description below. Let's get to it. The subtlety of the interior. Now the interior is wonderfully put together, it's really high quality, and it's finished in some really high-end materials, as you'd come to expect, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the thing that I'm talking about here is that the interior just doesn't quite have the flair or pizzazz to remind you that you're in something so special. Now this could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you like your subtlety, but once you put your foot down, you've got the roar of the V8 to remind you you're in something special. So you might not get it from the interior design, there's no mistaking that this is a special car. Number 3, due to the uniqueness of this car, it is pretty expensive. This car next to me is actually a 2022, and it's still listed at $128,000, I believe. If you wanted a new 2023, it's not a problem though. They start at $133,000. So yeah, it's pretty expensive, but they're awesome and rare. And one more benefit is the fact that you can't buy a new E63 AMG wagon anymore, which makes this RS6 the only name in the game now if you want a super wagon. But now let's talk about some of the good stuff going on here. Number 1 is this thing sounds awesome. I'm not going to get in the way of this point too much, so just have a listen. And number 2 is that this thing looks awesome. I went back to the old RS6 video that we did last year, and I read every single comment, and only one person said that they didn't like the looks of this car. And that guy's just wrong. Finished in the signature Nardo gray paint with carbon optics and the 22-inch wheels, this RS6 is stanced with contemporary poise and aggression. Up front you have the prototypical hexagonal grille with the black finish. You've got functional aero in your lower valence and your subtle carbon front splitter. But the party piece to any Audi is the lighting. You've got dynamic laser lights that do all sorts of dances to greet you and wish you farewell. Around the side, like I said, you've got massive 22-inch wheels. And despite being such big wheels, they don't seem to hurt the ride in a noticeable way. You've got red brakes peeking out from underneath, and if you wanted to, you could get carbon ceramics, but I might skip that, personally, because of the expense. From the profile, it looks low and aggressive, and interestingly enough, the RS6 only comes as the wagon here in the States. But I'm not complaining, it looks awesome. And the rear 3/4 angle might be my favorite. The flared hips really accentuate the fact that the RS6 is 2.2 inches wider than a normal A6. And again, that's clear with these hips. The rear end is subtle and sporty, with unique sequential LED lights that can also do a little boogie. And of course, you've got an aggressive black diffuser wrapped in carbon fiber for your carbon fiber optics package. And you get your typical massive RS dual oval exhaust. I mean, it looks awesome, no question. Number 3 is this thing drives awesome. So this is a mid-size station wagon. That type of vehicle shouldn't be fast or dynamic at face value, but this car is. It's got so much power from the twin-turbo V8. The ZF 8-speed gearbox is sharp and snappy. No, it's not as sharp as the DCT, but personally, I think this gearbox fits the personality of the car here better anyway. Then it's sending power to all quattro wheels through the RS Performance Differential, and that will bias power toward the rear. It's also got a rear steer module to make this thing feel really sharp and aggressive. The RS6 isn't quite as willing to go sideways as an AMG or an M car. However, aside from the R8 mid-engine supercar in their lineup, this is probably the best handling Audi that they have. And of course, the beautiful balance is further complemented by its amazing sound. And then, when you want to just chill out and cruise, this is where this car shines over any AMG or M car. It actually settles down and is genuinely comfortable. Not comfortable for a 600 horsepower mega wagon, but comfortable for a luxury car. Comfortable full stop. I don't know how they do it with these 22-inch wheels and these little rubber band tires, but man, their damper reprogramming is on point over at Audi. I just love the car. It's fast, it sounds great, it's sharp as a tack, it's got loads of drama from the transmission and the engine sound, and still manages to be in probably one of the top 10 rides of cars I've driven in the last year. Pretty impressive, Audi. And number 4, we're going to talk about the interior. And this point specifically, I'm going to focus on the build, the quality, and the materials used here. I feel like a broken record saying that, oh, the Audi interior is really nice. Yeah, groundbreaking journalism, guy. But it just is. You've got supple leathers, shiny alloys, precise stitching, and you can get suedes and carbon fibers, etc. all over the place. The only place I'll ding it is the fact that they use a bunch of gloss black across your dash and in your center console here. At number 5, we're talking about speed and power. Now this has the VAG 4-liter twin-turbo V8. Here, it's tuned for 590 horsepower and the same number in torque. And with launch control activated, you'll jump to 60 closer to 3 seconds than to 4 seconds. Again, this is a station wagon, and this is going to make some pretty awesome V8 sounds while it does that. Now this is the same engine that's in an RSQ8, a Porsche Panamera Turbo, a Cayenne Turbo, and yes, the Lamborghini Urus. It's pretty solid company if you ask me. Number 6, we're going to talk about features and stuff. This RS6 comes with pretty much anything you can fathom. You get a couple RS specific screens for temps, pressures, and telemetry. You get a nice big head-up display, you get Audi's excellent virtual cockpit digital cluster system, and you get the typical Audi MMI system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And you get an auxiliary screen below for climate controls and a couple other things like your heated and cooled seat. You've got great 360 cameras with the augmented reality thing, your seats are heated and cooled as I mentioned, and you can get massage, and your steering wheel is heated of course. And you look up to see a sunroof for the front passenger and a sunroof for the rear passengers. And it can also come with soft closed doors. And number 7, we'll talk about the rear seats. They're big and comfortable, even for 6-foot humans. You've got window shades back here, you've got the same contrasted RS stitching back here, and you've got heated seats back here, you've got your own climate controls and vents back here, and you even get light-up seatbelt buckles. I mean, what more could you want? And then lastly, we'll talk about the trunk. It's huge. It's about the same size as the RSQ8 that we drove last year, making it hugely practical. It's got lights back here, and the rear seats fold 40-20-40 to make the space even bigger. I mean, at this point, there really aren't many or any shortcomings of the RS6 Avant. But with that, let's hit the final thoughts. So that's the best and the rest of the Audi RS6 Avant. It's sharp and fast while still being comfortable. It's sleek and elegant while still being wildly practical. I mean, now that the AMG E63 wagon is no longer available, this might be the best car in the world. So thanks again to our friends at Audi Milwaukee for letting us have a go. We'll see you in the next one.